Hey, what's going on? Aaron Chen here. Hope you are doing well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be doing some research on YouTube about online marketing courses for beginners, okay? Great thing to research. Maybe you're trying to build some sort of business online. You want to learn how to market on the internet and you're looking for information. Well, I'm going to share some ideas with you in this video that will give you a clearer picture of the best type of online marketing programs on the internet, because there are a ton out there, okay? So this is the first time you're watching one of my videos. I'm always coming up with content that will teach you how to build a more profitable business. So at any time, if you want, you can check out my 6-figure strategies by just clicking on the link below in this video. You don't have to wait till the end, okay? Completely up to you. But let's talk a little bit about online, training courses on how to learn how to do internet marketing. That's really important, especially if you're just getting started, you have no clue what you're doing. Let me kind of share with you my story about how I, all got into this business and some of the pitfalls that you have to look out for so that you don't have to, go through them yourself, right? I started in 2009, and in that period, I knew that the one thing that I needed to do was to go out there and find a mentor that would be able to teach me how to build my online business the right way, okay? And it's always great to learn from somebody, because obviously if you don't know what you're doing, you want to learn it from people that already have gone through that, all the pitfalls and the challenges and the obstacles, so that you can just learn from them and become a sponge and just absorb all of the right information from them. And so that's what I did. And so in 2009, I met somebody online. His name was Brian. He was, the owner of a great marketing system. And Brian was awesome. He was based in Texas, I think, at the time. I'm based in Malaysia. And we had sort of like an online sort of, relationship, not a face-to-face thing. I mean, it's the internet now, right? You can sort of, mentor people from all over the world. You don't necessarily have to be in the same city. But the problem was he was spending a lot of time on his business, and he didn't really have time to spend with his students, unfortunately, right? So I didn't learn that much from Brian, even though he was a great guy, okay? And then so I moved on, and I found another mentor, and the next mentor that I found, his name was Lawrence, and again, Lawrence is a super cool guy. But what I didn't know at that time is that there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, okay? And so with online marketing, there is so many different ways that you can build your business, and also there are lots of different businesses that you can build, if that makes sense, right? So there's not just one marketing strategy. There's like hundreds of marketing strategies that you can implement, and there are hundreds of businesses that you can get into, right? So it depends on what kind of business you want to build, and that's the question that you need to ask yourself. And I'll talk about that in a minute to give you some ideas, okay? But the next guy, Lawrence, as I was talking, explaining to you, Lawrence was great, but he did everything via SEO. Now, if you don't know what SEO is, that's when you go to Google and you type out something like, how do I lose weight, or how do I make money online, or whatever it is, right? And you could get a whole bunch of websites ranking on Google, right? That is called SEO. That's search engine optimization. Now, the problem with search engine optimization is you're trying to game the Google algorithm, okay? Now, every time you're trying to go against Google, which is a multi-billion-dollar company, you will lose, okay? Because Google's smart, and they know that millions of people all over the world are trying to game their system. So they change their algorithm all the time, okay? The Google algorithm gets updated like every week, every other day. And so when you're trying to game them, you might be on page 1 for this particular keyword, and tomorrow you might be on page 5, okay? And so playing that game against Google is very, very hard. So for a whole year, right, I tried to learn SEO from Lawrence. I invested in a very expensive SEO software. It was $1,000. I was writing like 2-3 articles a day for a year, okay? And the results that I got, they were really mediocre. Yeah, I ranked a couple of articles on page 1, but they were like position 5, position 10, and I couldn't really break through that way, okay? So if you're in the blogging space, I don't think it's a great space, to be honest, because I think building your overall career through blogging, again, it depends on what industry you're in, but there are a lot of keywords out there that have already been taken up, okay? That's my personal opinion, especially with me doing this for a long time now. Obviously, there are niche markets that you can get into with blogging that are still untapped, but blogging's been around for a long time, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, I want to be a blogger, understand that the whole blogging thing comes with being really, really freaking good at SEO, okay? There's no way around it. So if you're thinking like, I want to be a blogger, but I'm going to do video, that's not really blogging, okay? Blogging is people finding your content through SEO. Now, of course, you can do other marketing strategies as well, but that's not pure blogging, okay? That's SEO stuff. So SEO, when you're going up against Google, it's not recommended. So I failed at that strategy. I did really, really badly. And then I was like, okay, I can't follow Lawrence. Like, I don't know how he's been able to figure it out. And yeah, you can figure it out, but it's a very, very hard strategy. SEO is like pushing a gigantic boulder up a mountain, okay? You don't really want to go there, right? So then after that, I was like, okay, I need to find someone else that can teach me how to build my business the right way. And then so I teamed up with a couple of guys. One of my friends, Cameron, who I've now known for a long time. We were working with a few other people from the UK and Australia. We had a kind of like a coalition going, and we figured out how to generate big commissions on the internet. And that strategy was by generating leads through online marketing, right? Social media, pay-per-click marketing, Facebook, Bing ads, stuff like that, right? And we would get these ads, we would get them on a strategy call, and we would pitch them for about 3 or 4 hours. Literally, we would spend 3 or 4 hours on a Skype call, and we would close them into one of our, top tier deals. Now, some of these top tier deals, they were expensive. They were like $10,000, $15,000 US dollars, right? And we would close them. But the problem was every single call, we were only getting one customer on that call, and we were spending so much time on these calls that, not everybody was closing. The closing rate was like, 20, 30%. And so even though we were closing big sales, it was extremely time consuming, and the closing rate wasn't that high. And because there were 5 of us in that group, the profits just, it didn't really make sense. So that whole strategic call session where you spend like 4 hours, on the call with them, it didn't really make sense. Now, how do you scale a business like that? Well, you can't really. The only way you can scale a business like that is if you hire coaches to do the calling for you, which is possible, but we didn't really want to do that at that time. So we ditched that, right? So even though we were making okay money, there was no way to scale that business model, and so it was just kind of messed up, okay? And so the point I'm trying to make is that there are 1,000 ways to grow your business, all right? And when you go out there and you look for an online marketing course, right, to teach you how to build a business online, there are so many different courses out there with so many different business models that will teach you so many different strategies, okay? So the question that you need to ask yourself is, how do you want to build your business, all right? And for me, it took me a very, very long time to understand what kind of business I really wanted to build before I went out there to find the person that could teach me how to do it, okay? And so after about 6 or 7 years of failing online, before I realized I failed for longer. I failed for like 8 years, okay? But it took me about 6 years to figure out what kind of business I really wanted to build, because I kind of had to go through all those little issues. I had to do MLM, I had to do affiliate marketing, I had to do top tier sales, I had to do marketing softwares, I had to do BizOp, I had to do ClickBank. I did a lot of little things here and there, and then I finally realized, okay, I know what's good and what's not so good. What kind of business do I want to build? And then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find the person. And so in 2016, I went out there and I found the right person to teach me how to build that business, because I finally understood what kind of business that I wanted to build. So let me explain to you what that business is. And if this is what you want to build, then I'll show you exactly where to get the same training, okay? So this is the business that I wanted to build. I wanted an online business where I could sell other people's stuff and I could be profitable, number one, okay? So I don't necessarily have to create the products myself, right? That's called affiliate marketing, okay? I wanted to sell good products so that if I sold a product to somebody and they consumed it, they would actually get good information, they would feel confident, they would learn, and that would build trust, because if I sell good products and people are getting results from them, then they're gonna trust me more and they're gonna come back and they wanna buy more stuff, right? Okay? The third thing is, I wanted to build a business where I could create leverage. Now, how can I build an online business where I don't necessarily have to be there all the time? Now, I don't mind putting in the work, and you shouldn't either, right? It's important to learn the foundations, learn the online marketing part, build out your foundation, build out your infrastructure. But once you've done all that stuff, I don't want to have to be there all the time to babysit my business, right? Does that make sense? I mean, SEO, you have to babysit that thing, man, because Google just changes the algorithms all the time, right? And also, I wanted to build something where I didn't have to wait 12 or 24 months before I started seeing results. And unfortunately, if you want to do SEO properly, blogging properly, you're going to have to wait that long, because that's just the nature of that type of online marketing. Okay, you might not know that, but I'm telling you right now that that is the nature of blogging. If you want to do it SEO style, you're gonna have to give it at least 12 to 24, if not longer than that, because that's just the way that that strategy works, right? I didn't want to do that, okay? I didn't want to have a social media strategy where if I wasn't posting an article or in a forum or on a Facebook group, then my business was gonna die. I wanted a strategy where if I post something, it's gonna be up there forever, and people are gonna see my stuff, and I just have to focus on, you know, other things and not have to constantly come up with new articles and all that kind of stuff, right? So a few things there. Sell other people's products. Key leverage points in my business. Don't have to be there all the time. You know, a short to medium term strategy that works quicker than doing something like blogging that will take 12 to 24 months. I didn't want to wait that long to get results, right? And something that I could scale, you know, because again, the whole getting on the phone thing, that's not scalable, right? I can't duplicate myself 10 times without hiring someone like me. And honestly, you know, for me, I'm a sales guy, right? So I feel like I can do it the best. So to be able to find someone who is at my standard, I think that that's quite difficult to find, especially in the country that I live in right now, right? So there are all these restrictions. So how do I scale my business, and how do I do this from anywhere in the world, right? So there are a couple of things that you have to think about before you go out there and find the right, number one, mentor and the right online, you know, training course that will teach you how to do these things. There's very few that will teach you how to do stuff like this, right? So once I figured out, okay, that's the business that I want to build, I can scale it, I can automate it, I can leverage it, I can sell other people's stuff, I can make a lot of money, right? And I can, and so when all these things come together, then I was like, okay, now I'm ready. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna find someone that can teach me how to do that stuff, okay? And that's what I did. And so in 2016, I met a guy called Vic, and that's how he's built his business for the last, you know, 15, 18 years, however long it is now. You know, he's a multi-millionaire, knows exactly what he's doing, and so I just went and I consumed all his stuff. And so everything that you see me do now is based off of that model, because that's the model that I believe will build you a huge business, and that's how I finally won in the end. You know, it took me a while, but from 2016 to 2019, I was implementing that stuff, and that's how I finally tripled my old corporate income. I quit my corporate job in April 2019, and now I work full-time from home. This is my home. This is my house. My computer's back there. You can't see it. It's over my couch. That's why I work every single day. I also shuttle to a co-working space just so that I can switch it up a little bit, be around people a little bit more. My wife kind of kicked me out as well. She was like, you need to get out and be around people instead of being by yourself. But this is what I do, and it's taken me a long time to figure that stuff out, okay? So if you're looking for an online training program, then I'll show you where to get one in a second. But first of all, let me know what you thought of that information in the comments below. I bet you weren't even thinking about any of that stuff, because honestly, when I first started my online business, I wasn't thinking about any of that stuff either, because nobody talks about this stuff, right? They just talk about the big stuff. They talk about e-commerce, they talk about eBay, they talk about affiliate marketing, but they don't talk about all the little nitty-gritty stuff, because I mean, honestly, would you want to spend 4 hours on the phone every single day with clients? I don't think so. Would you want to spend, 24 months on a strategy that may not actually work for you in the end? Probably not, right? And so until you've been through all these things, you won't really know that it's a problem, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the content on this video, because I just gave you all the problems that I went through over the last 10 years in a quick, 13-minute video here, right? And if you got some value from this video today, would really appreciate some thumbs ups as well, okay? So here's what you can do. If you want to learn exactly where I learned how to build out my business, how did I build this 6-figure affiliate marketing business with everything that we just spoke about, leverage, selling other people's products, you don't have to be there all the time. You know, if I didn't want to be in my business right now, I could work on my business 20-30% of the time, but it would still generate the results that it's generating now, which is pretty cool, right? But I want to grow my business by 10-20 times, which is why I continue to hustle, right? That's a completely, different story altogether. But I don't need to be at my business all the time anymore, which is pretty cool, because I've set it up a certain way, right? So if you want to learn how to do all those things and have a business where you can scale it to infinity, then I would love to teach you how to do that, okay? All you have to do is click the link right below this video, and on the next page enter your best email address, and I'm gonna send you my training that will show you how I've done that. Now if you're really interested, there is a way for you to get the same course that I went through in 2016. Okay, so just go through the process and you'll find out how to do that. And listen, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you got a lot of value from it, because this is the way. If I had this information in 2009, it would have saved me like 8 years of headache, honestly, because now I know what kind of business that I want to build, and if that's the kind of business that you want to build as well, then you're going to love this information. So you can get that by clicking the link below, and all the best. Hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Take care.